Bob Schieffer of Face the Nation is going to talk to Democratic Governor Martin O'Malley here and absolutely nail the worst kind of establishment media false equivalence.
Talk a little bit about what's going on in Washington now. Governor Jindal said he all but said there is kind of a disconnect between Washington and the rest of the country. Do you see that?
Well, I think the greatest disconnect is really between the of Abraham Lincoln, and made it impossible for our Congress to do things that the vast majority of us Democrats and Republicans throughout the country agree make sense, like pay the country's bills, pass comprehensive immigration reform, do the common sense things. I mean, shutting our country down does not help job growth. Selling America short does not help us build a better future for our kids. And these are the things that the Tea Party Republicans have brought to our Congress and made it very difficult for Mr. Boehner and other Republicans even to enact the sort of reasonable compromises that all of us took for granted in years past.
But, you know, Governor, I'm sure you would concede that you have those on the left would take the party as far that way as some of the Tea Party folks want to take the Republican Party on the right. I mean, when the president comes out and says he's not going to touch entitlement reform, that's like waving a red flag in front of a bull to the Republicans.
We got to come up with some sort of false equivalence award for the person who can do the most vapid, vacuous, intellectually disingenuous false equivalence. Well, sure, there are extremists on the right, like Ted Nugent, who's, you know, was trying to help a Republican get elected. What the fuck is that about? That's ridiculous. But, oh, there's extremists on the left, too, like, you know, the guys who don't want to cut entitlements. No. That is not extreme. That is mainstream. By definition, it is mainstream, because no matter what poll you look at, between 60% and 69% of the American people say, don't you dare cut entitlements or earned benefits, which is what they really are, under any circumstances. Even when you phrase the poll questions to suggest, well, what if we're doing it in order to reduce the deficit and balance the budget? People go, no. You're leaving that alone. You're leaving Social Security alone, you're leaving Medicare and Medicaid alone, because these are things that are overwhelmingly popular and successful government programs that we would be fucked without. We've gone over the numbers before. What is it, 39% of seniors in America were living in poverty before the implementation of Medicare and Social Security, and then 10 years later that number was down to 11%? Overwhelmingly successful! I mean, that's as big of a success as you could get, but you know, in the media where they're supposed to be objective and factual and data-driven and give information, that's totally swept aside. You think Bob Schieffer knows those statistics? He doesn't know those statistics, and it's his fucking job to know those statistics, and he doesn't know those statistics. Not only that, this idea that is so pervasive both on Wall Street and in Washington and just in the establishment bubble in general, that it's a necessity to cut earned benefit programs. Not like, hey, you know, we choose to do it, which they are, but they pretend like, no, the reason why we're in favor of it is because we absolutely need to for the fiscal health of the nation. But that's not true. Anybody who's looked at the numbers knows the reality. They've studied this endlessly. And guess what? Social Security is fully funded until the year 2037. When was the last time a politician was concerned about a problem all the way out in 2037? We can't get them to give a shit about fucking climate change, which is happening right now. They're still, I don't know, maybe we'll take care of that later or not, we don't care. But you're concerned about Social Security when there's an issue in 2037? And by the way, there's not even really an issue in 2037 either, because it pays out 100% of its benefits until 2037, and then after that, it still pays out 75% of its benefits. So you could just continue paying out 75% of your benefits. That's not a problem. Or you could just, as the real fix goes, just tweak the payroll tax, get rid of the cap. So right now, you're only taxed on your first $116,000. And then everything above that is not taxed at all. So guess what? If LeBron James and Tiger Woods and Bill Gates paid the same percentage in payroll tax as my mother did, then it's fully solvent forever, as far as the eye could see. And then with Medicare, it's a similar story. It's fully funded until 2024, and then after that, it pays out 87% of its benefits. These things don't have an issue. They're more solvent than any other government program I've ever seen in my life. That's literal. I mean, Social Security right now is a $2.7 trillion surplus, and you're talking about how we need to cut it? Could you do some fucking research, please, in the mainstream media? But they're too lazy, and they're too busy sucking up to Wall Street and sucking up to the establishment.